Hey, black women, let me tell you, your girl, Matrix Exposed, has been on a roll for the last 3 days. She been handing out some really good lives. Boy, I've been at work and watching her lives, being very, very pleased and very happy that she's touching on things that I think black women need to consider and constantly talk about. Like, today she was talking about, I didn't care about Kirk Franklin. I don't care about none of that religious shit. But the things that she was saying about how the conversation around black women and how they're trying to take over and redirect the narrative about black women and constantly put us in this negative light in society, and how black women need to really understand this and get out in front of that and take over our narrative and our image, and just to speak for ourselves, because you have everybody who's not one of us trying to speak on us and give their take about who and what we are, and it's always something negative to feed their degeneracy. Like, Matrix today was talking about how when you're in these communities, right, these black communities, and you have this proliferation of dysfunctional black males and low education having and low morals and scruples women that are a result of these dudes in households and a result of being a predator on young girls. The results are this degenerate culture that black women encompass, where it's all about sexual perversion and being the lowest form of who you are, just so that you could have a relationship with these even lower functioning black males. And when she talked on that, I said, she's hitting shit right on the head where it needs to be hit. And if black women really understood what she was saying and moved away from that shit, not only would you be able to improve yourself, but you would be improving black people in a few generations to come. Like, if all black women would get away from all these bum-ass black males, the ones that are here, they don't go to school, they don't have an education, they don't have gainful employment, they don't want anything good out of life, all they want is degeneracy, easy sex, drugging, drinking, chaos, violence, and killing. And the fact that they have no amount of emotional intelligence and are killing black women every day, 4 to 5 hours of the day, due to being rejected and due to, black women not conforming to their opinion of them and going along with the dumb shit that they want them to go along with in their lives, or just frankly being tired of being battered and bruised by domestic violence. So when she was talking about all this stuff today, let me tell you, I'm telling you, I was listening to it and saying, good for her. And I really wish more younger black women who have a audience as large as her or larger would do this like every week. I believe that if black women were indoctrinated with this type of upward mobility thinking and upliftment process, which is really what black women empowerment is supposed to be about, in a year's time, the amount of growth black women would have would be fucking incredible. And the amount of reduction in poverty and violence in the home, and black women picking the wrong, every black male is wrong, but picking wrong black males as people to have children with and to get in relationships with. Like, I know you heard the slogan before, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. It's very true, because if these women were simply educated in everything in life to show how abundant their life could be in nurturing environments, just like Matrix had spoke about when she said that there should be private schools. My opinion is everybody can't afford private, but education should be separate, and it should be gender-based, in the sense of, we all know that first of all, there are more women on the planet than there are males. That's just how nature does. Everything in nature is more feminine than males, because the feminine energy gives birth to new life throughout the entire world. Whether it's an insect, an animal, a human being, a plant, that's just what nature does. Because we are an extension of Mother Earth and the Divine Mother herself. So anyway, if women or little girls were to be taught in environments and atmospheres where education was seriously pushed and stressed, and no sexual innuendo or any type of sexual upheaval, like where they're always trying to make black women so hypersexual and sexually deviant, and trying to plaster young girls, little baby girls, with sexual energy and sexual depiction. So if we could remove all of that deviant sexual shit, stereotype mentality, and teaching of our little girls, do you know how fucking brilliant our black women and girls would be? And if you did the same for these little black boys who don't develop as quickly as black girls and who are not as smart at younger ages as little black girls, they would actually have a chance to learn some different mannerisms and personality traits that would not encourage the early violence, the early misogyny, the early jealousy, and the kind of like failure to launch, and the diminished capacity in their thought process and how their brain works. It would be so much better, And when she was talking about these things, it was great to hear, simply because I knew that what she was saying was spot on. And if black women actually did that on their own, because you can take your kid out of a school and try to put them in another school. You could even homeschool them, or you could get them tutors where they don't have to be in those environments. So when she was talking about that, I thought it was just straight brilliant. Completely brilliant. The only problem is there's so many black women that are encouraged, and they associate and socialize each other to not want to center themselves or focus all their energy on their own improvement, but they want to be around women that down other women and advocate for males, and want to try to convince other women that their relationship with a dude is way more important than women. And that's the problem in itself. The problem in itself is when Matrix was talking about that dude Vlad, and how different guests on his show are always trying to liken black women to like the Hottentotten or the lowest sexual animalistic behavior, right? They always refer to people like Simply Red or others, and this is something that's done intentionally. It's done intentionally because they want little black girls to feel like they have no hope, and that the only thing that they have in life to offer is their body. And in doing that, the way Matrix always talks about the long-term goal of the racist, the misogynist, and in my case, I'm going to say the elitists, right? The people that run the system, they need to keep those little black girls indoctrinated into believing that they're nothing but something sexual to be used and to give to the world as their power, because that's all people see them for. And so this is what they feel like is their only option, or their best the best foot forward. So when they do these things, right, these particular girls, they start to adapt all of these principles of self-hatred that grows in time to make them these dysfunctional people in our society, in our neighborhoods, that love to be impoverished, love to be the single mom on purpose now, not the ones that happen by circumstance or whatever, but the ones that do it because they feel like that's their lot in life, and because many people have done it before them, or they seen their mother do it, or other people in their family, they want to do it because they feel like that's expected of them. So all the stuff that she was talking about today, if those girls were subjected to a different thought process from being really, really young, right? And they were not in those type of environments where too many times I've seen on TikTok and YouTube these very young women who have their lives somewhat going for them in a good way, but then they make the real bad mistake of bringing some loser ass fucking dude in their house who's just been released from jail, or has like 29 kids by 90 different women. And you know, I'm saying it that way to be facetious, right? But they bring these people in their homes, and then the somewhat little bit of peace they had in their home and the semblance of normalcy automatically turns into all this chaos, incredible fucking busyness, craziness, violence, and eventually, unfortunately, the woman being beat, and the last step is for her to get killed. And this is the type of shit that happens because they have too much faith in wanting to be in relationships with these dudes. And because, like Matrix says, you have all of these videos in this environment on YouTube, TikTok, and social media, period, where the whole goal of these white racists is to always keep black women who are not very intelligent or very educated, where they would know better, right? To stay away from those platforms, to denounce them, to push back against them. Because what they do is they subconsciously try to convince the young black women and the young girls that this is what normalcy is for them. This is what is expected of them. They're expected to live in poverty. They're expected to live in these relationships with these dudes with no education, no job, no money, no concern or give a fuck about the future, and all they care about is the here and now and what type of ridiculous situation they could get out of that immediately. So it's like what she was saying today made so much sense. The only part about it that always aggravates me is because no one is listening to the black women like her, me, and others. They're always listening to people that want to be so inclusive of bullshit and dysfunction. And I'm glad that she's taking this stance where she's trying to get black women to understand that you are literally under attack. And it all is mental. It starts mental. And if you don't allow them to seep inside your head and to convince you that you're nothing but something equivalent symbolically or literally to a Simply Red, then you're no good. When in fact, that's not it at all. You're great. And if you would pour into yourself, take care of yourself, and grow yourself, you would literally be unstoppable. And believe me, it's very important to keep in mind and to keep reflecting on the Divine Nine and the 44, the start out of the beginning of those 44,000 black women on that phone call, just to show you how when black women are organized, mobilized, and brought together for a good cause, common cause, just how powerful and great you truly can be. Those are the things that you really have to take into consideration. You need to remember and you need to know are inside of us, are part of what the Divine Mother put in us, that we are here to do for each other. And so black women, you gotta begin to lift your head up like she's telling you. Push people out of your space. Get rid of the foreign women, the other women, the non-black women, the foreign black women, the men, and everybody else, and reclaim your own throne. Go out there and talk about things that strictly only pertain to black American women. And then don't let up. Don't let up on it until you see the change in your community, the change in the people around you. And once you see that, encourage it, grow it, confirm it, applaud it. Do everything you can do to make it last forever. All right? All right, I got to get back in from lunch, but let me tell you, I'm going to go right back to my desk. I'm going to listen to both lives again, the one from yesterday that she did over and the one today, because I don't know what's going on with her lately, but she's just blossoming into like a serious fucking great orator. Like, it's so many things that she's saying that are hitting directly to the things that affect us every day, all the time, and that black women are given the, like, I'm gonna just turn my head and not think about that type of action to it. But I don't know, she's being real prolific right now, and I like that. I like her being prolific. I like it. It's great. And it just speaks to the potential and the growth of people when they have a passion and they start acting out on that because of their love and concern for other women like them. I think that shit is so beautiful. It was just like, I just was too happy listening to her today. I was like, yeah, there we go. Now she's coming into her glory because she was just putting all that shit where it needed to be, in every spot, and at the perfect time, in my opinion. All right, let me just go back. I'm gonna go listen to that again. You do the same, because sometimes when someone says something really profound, the first time you hear it, but you might not have received the full message. So it's always good to listen to something good, something great, over and over again, so that even though you might have got the message, the second time you hear it, you get more of it, the third, fourth, fifth, until you understand it perfectly. So shout out to Matrix today. I was really feeling both those lives. I think she's doing a great job. I hope she doesn't stop. Be well.